Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the TopHatMate podcast. We are here with a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Richte du mich, gib du ein Bekenntnis ab, ob du meine Arbeit.
Yes, we're here with the one and only Adolf Hitler. Now we're here with Monkey Fu or Monkey or whatever the fuck he's doing. He hasn't considered Monkey something. I don't know what's his name again. Keep changing his name every single week. Anyway, today's episode is going to be part two on episode 5 of the podcast on conspiracy theories. So we have two conspiracy theories we're going to specifically talk about. Those are the aliens building the pyramids and Atlantis being real. So let's begin with the aliens one. So we're going to specifically take it from a historical point of view. There's plenty of other ways to disprove these theories that's not historical, but we're specifically going to disprove them or analyze them from a historical setting. So the problem, as I mentioned this in the last episode, one of the main problems with any theory, and including this one, is conspiracy theories only take a fact, a historical fact, and change it in itself. It doesn't change the whole timeline of history. Like, for example, let's say aliens built the pyramids, the ancient pyramids. Well, then we will also have to say that aliens are real, A, and it will also say aliens visited Earth and had human contact and made stuff that was original thought to be that we build. So now it's not just aliens built the pyramids. Now it is that aliens were on Earth and they could also build other stuff. Stonehenge, they could have built Stonehenge. They could have built all the other stuff. You know, if they have space travel, they could definitely travel around the world. They will have other type of technologies. So it's not just aliens built the pyramids, is aliens were here. We don't know what they did, and we don't know what they were. So, and also we also assume that aliens could still be around, because in reality, the pyramids in cosmic timeline was really like yesterday. If you look at the time of Earth, so it's most likely aliens are still here. So now you have to make all this new history, saying every single human event that happened what might have been influenced by aliens. And now you have to trace all the historical steps from the very beginning of humanity, or even before humanity, to now, which, as you knew, most conspiracy theories do not do. You have something to say about that? Monkey Foo?
What?
Do you have something to say about that?
Say about what?
Well, the aliens?
Oh yeah, aliens are very alien-like.
They're alien-like.
Yeah.
So, another part, which this is going to be a new point of mine, is lack of evidence. Now, how historians take historical facts, they gather evidence and to come up with a conclusion. Conspiracy theories start with the conclusion and get evidence from there, so that's already called pseudoscientific. And B, even the evidence they gather for it is lacking. For example, um, they show ancient artifacts that weird-looking people on ancient Egyptian art, and they call them aliens. While in reality they were most likely gods, humans, monsters, or other stuff. It doesn't exclusively have to be aliens. As Monkey Fu was saying, um, they were extremely human-like, which is a bit weird. Aliens expected just to be humans with big heads because that's how the pyramids, or that's how the Egyptians, um, draw them to be like, which is first of all highly unscientific. But we're not taking here the scientific route. We're here taking the historical route. So we will have to show that these aliens, um, which are the typical gray aliens with big heads, which kind of looks like the ancient Egyptian quote unquote aliens that these conspiracy theories say were actual aliens. Now these aliens have to share some similarities with other aliens from other mythology. So if the aliens whoever they are, build the pyramids, they will also most likely build Stonehenge, build the Great Wall of China, and the Chinese and the Britons that lived in time will have to share some type of similar art piece with the aliens in Egypt, which clearly does not happen because that's not how it works. These There's plenty of interpretation of aliens because they never existed. This is why every single alien in fiction looks very different from other aliens because aliens don't exist. We have no source of reference to back it up. While a real source of reference, like a dog, like it doesn't matter if you're in China or in Egypt, a dog will look like a dog. So let's move on from specifically talking about aliens building the pyramids to more even more outlandish conspiracy theories. Um, for example, the actual existence of fictional places like Atlantis. Now, this one is even more stupider. First of all, uh, Atlantis was created by a specific person. We have to discredit that, and we have to say that person that created Atlantis, it was telling a historical event, but it's even less straightforward than the alien one, because alien is the, you know, kind of simple. Just aliens built the pyramid. Of course, not that simple, but the conspiracy theory is Atlantis is, well, Atlantis was real. They had super technology, so they conquered the whole world, but somehow they died because I don't know. The city was flooded because some reason. Everyone died. All the millions of people that must have lived in Atlantis also died for some reason. It's just like this is fairy tale land at this point. Basically, as stupid as if all the religions were actually real.
Is it like Aquaman?
Yeah, it's what, you know,
Is it like Aquaman?
like Taco Man. What?
Like Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically
well,
Aquaman. Because the
yeah,
theory
just
goes
like,
that Atlantis was destroyed. The question is, if it was so technologically advanced, even more advanced than us in some interpretations, then why the fuck would all these Atlanteans died? They were like a flood. Do you think they could have not stopped the flood? They're more advanced than us, and we already stop floods all the time.
you
And most
said,
likely also had millions of people because it was so advanced, more advanced than us. So where did all these people go?
you said, planet was advanced.
Yeah, that's like how most interpretations of Atlantis is. They were really advanced, even some ways advanced more than modern civilization.
And they had power. They couldn't control it, and they started a flood.
What was that again?
And if it was really advanced, what if they try to control power, but power just went out of control, and then they started a flood?
Oh, the self-destructing thing. First of all,
Yeah,
that's that's still stupid because they would still have be advanced enough to stop the thing. You know, like let's say hypothetically, they created a nuke and they dropped a nuke and they sank the whole island. Like that's not enough to kill an entire group of people that's as advanced, even more advanced than it is today. Like even if they did drop a nuke and destroyed all of Atlantis, which is improbable, all the millions of people, there would still be thousands or some Atlanteans that ended up living, and being other places. Like it's a bit odd um that there's literally no record of Atlantis ever, except randomly like a millennium later in ancient Greece. But yeah, Atlantis existed. Like why the hell didn't other civilizations before this record this? Because it wasn't real. It was just a made up thing. It was a made up thought experiment by Plato. It wasn't historicals. If you actually read the original Atlantis script by Plato, you can clearly see it was for a thought experiment, not for an actual historical event.
what happened Aquaman?
Yeah, Atlantis is basically now just going into pseudo religions because um what they call the people who actually believe in the literal word of the Bible? Fundamentalists, there it is. Word by word fundamentalists. It's not just Jesus made the world or God made the world, is literally everything that happened in the holy book, whether that be the Bible or the Quran, is the actual truth. Now you have to make a whole other history of Earth, and not just Earth, but for a religious point of view, all of reality to fit that specific point of view, which I think, well, religion does quite well, but conspiracy theorists do not. Like, for example, the history in the Bible does not mention anything about the flood. Sorry, the Chinese do not mention anything about the flood happening in the Bible or in Atlantis, which was supposedly how originally um it sank, because this wasn't real.
Maybe the Great Flood sunk them.
Yeah, but they will have some historical sense. For example, there was an actual a volcano explosion on an island near Greece that was one of the biggest explosions humanity has ever seen, and you could tell other people, not just Greeks, but like the people in Anatolia, people even Egypt, noticing something that wrong, hearing a far off explosion or seeing a great point of smoke or seeing a volcano. Like it's not just you will see other groups of people recognize an event that happened, like an explosion or a sinking, like, and especially for a whole continent, which is the original thought of Atlantis. Like, you think Native Americans would not notice? Like, oh, that's weird. The waters are retreating.
That's weird.
And that's how it's been the whole time. It's not just a single event.
Where's
So,
Atlantis?
so now we will have to go into the final conclusion, say why conspiracy theories are dumb. First of all, they don't take their point to the full conclusion. They only recognize one point, and then that's it. They don't recognize, oh, well, how will this impact? How would this theory impact all the other parts of history? They just never recognize that. Second of all, they start with the conclusion first, without proper evidence, and when they get the evidence, most 9 out of 10 times it is insufficient evidence. So, unlike real historical and historians' work, they don't start with the evidence first. They start with the conclusion, and they try to neatly fit all the evidence to go with that conclusion, and deny all the other evidence that goes against that conclusion, which is how pseudoscience works. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. You have enough time to talk about the Illuminati and the um, how that, not just specifically the Illuminati, but just one small group of people controlling the world. Didn't have enough time to talk about that, but maybe another time. Yeah, this is us signing out. Make sure to tune in the next episode of the TopHatMate podcast. Uh, maybe with a guest. Who knows? All right.